Hello again, guys. It is I, Free 700. We are back with some Kingdom Under Fire lore. This time, King Curian. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. This character is, without a doubt, my favorite continuation of, reappearing. So there are some characters that we'll see in Kingdom Under Fire series who appear once, and we never see again. This is one of those characters who appears once, and we see him many, many, many years later, and we find out what happened to him. And man, he is definitely fallen. So at the beginning of the game, Kingdom Under Fire, A War of Heroes, we go on an adventure with Curian, known as a Prince Curian. Now, he is returning to his home village after adventuring, because he is a goody good guy. He is the epiphany of just an awesomely good character. Yeah. If you're a person who doesn't like naivety, doesn't like that super unrealistic happiness and friendship wins the day type mottos, you might not like Curian right off the bat. But he does get really dark really quickly, which is a saving grace. At the beginning of the game, he just comes off as this, "Whoa, a village is under attack. I better go save them. Yeah, we must retreat and save as many people as we can. Oh yeah, I will destroy the orcs with my super goodness. Woohoo!" Yeah, that quickly ends very, very quickly. Thankfully. So afterwards, he saves as many people as he can out of the village, goes back to Heronodon to prepare the city, and lets Azilia know, hey, the orcs are fucking raiding, and they're about to attack the city. We need help. And he holds out. It looks like the battle is going to be a loss, but all of a sudden, Azilian knights come in from King Gernot right at the last minute, and they just swipe across the map, clearing the whole map of orcs. This is pretty much how we meet Curian. And man, it is a very interesting introduction. After all this turmoil, the Azilian kingdom is starting to have a little bit of issues. Because you see, war with the orcs, it's nice and all that they live up to their chivalrous honor to protect the weak. And it's nice and all that they live up to their codes of morality. But the issue is that financially speaking and militarily speaking, it's not advisable to go to war against the Dark Legion. They are huge to fight against. And now there's this Lich who's really, really powerful leading them. It might not be in the Azilia's best interest to aid Heronodon and aid all the human nations to fight them. So, King Demetrich decides to make his own nation, Azilia. And King Gernot, deciding to be very diplomatic, sends Curian into the castle where King Demetrich is to try to talk to him and be a messenger to get him to come back into the fold, to join back with Azilia. After all, Demetrich has basically all the nobles of Azilia, so hey, having that finances in your pocket would definitely help. But turns out King Gernot is not nearly as nice as Curian. Curian is all honorable and chivalrous, and he's a goody good too. But King Gernot is not. Instead, he was hoping that Curian would assassinate King Demetrich. And depending how you play the game, you could kill King Demetrich, because what happens is when Curian goes to meet King Demetrich, he is in his court. There are a lot of guards, a lot of knights surrounding Prince Curian. And what happens is Demetrich is saying, why should I join back with Azilia? They clearly don't have my interests at heart. All of a sudden, a messenger comes in and goes, there's an Azilian army sieging the castle right now. And King Demetrich looks at Curian and goes, oh, I get it. You wanted to attack me while I thought you guys were offering friendship. All right, guards, kill Curian, and then let's get back to this battle. And from here, Curian has the option of just killing all the guards and then killing Demetrich, or just running the fuck out of there. Depending what option you do, it really doesn't matter too much. But depending what option you do, it does change the dialogue a little bit later. Where Curian escapes the castle, that's the ultimate goal, is to escape, and he rendezvous with the attack force where King Gernot is, and he is pissed. Curian's like, why would you even send me on such a mission, if you're just going to attack the city? And King Gernot openly admits, he's like, I was hoping you would assassinate King Demetrich. But if you actually did kill King Demetrich, Curian's pissed that he was used in this way. He's like, there was nothing honorable about this. And King Gernot's just like, hey, I'm just glad you killed him. We're not actually going to siege the castle. We don't have the time for this. We have to go somewhere else. But hey, at least King Demetrich is dead. So, right away, this whole good guy persona that Curian had in like the first 2 missions. Save everybody, yeah, uphold honor, fight with the goodness in your heart. Immediately on the mission 3 is extinguished. He's like, wow, you people are assholes. I have to watch out for how people use me, but I'm still going to do my best for humanity. Yeah, I like Curian a lot, to say the least. Now, I'm not going to keep talking about what Curian did in the War of Heroes, because I feel like the War of Heroes should be a separate video. But I will talk about the game manual, because the game manual gives more background information on Curian. That he was found at a temple, that he was raised by a bunch of monks for Heronodon, and at the age of 16, he left his home to be a mercenary for many, many years, aka an adventurer. And when he comes home, he swears vengeance against the Dark Legion for destroying his town, blah, blah, blah. So, that's pretty much that. Now, at the end of the War of Heroes, he does get sucked into the Dark Dimension, along with Rainier, along with Keither, along with Moonlight, along with Selene, his wife. Yeah, that's right, his wife is an elf. Literally the Queen of Elves. That's his wife. Dude is lucky. Now, the interesting thing about King Curian, because by this point he was the king of Azilia, and kind of king of Heronodon, because Heronodon does look up to him and use him kind of like as a religious symbol, but really they view him as the king of their country. Now, King Curian, stuck in the Dark Dimension, I really love this version of him, because we saw it already, as I've stated. First, he's a goody-goody two-shoes. He's like, yeah, fight for justice, fight with the goodness in your heart. And then on the 3rd mission, he's like, okay, I'm going to do stuff, but it's got to be for this cause. If I get used for any other reason, I'm going to have to say no. And then he's in Dark Dimension, and he is dark. He's like, why even bother with this? Why do I even bother doing this? This is pointless. This is worthless. So what happens in the Dark Dimension to Curian, you may ask? Well, when a human being enters the Dark Dimension, what happens is their body starts to mutate. And when their body starts to mutate, there is no going back. There is no way to cure the mutation. This is all that dark energy filling up into their body. Now, the issue with this is that your mind also gets tainted next. And depending how much despair you're feeling, this can kind of quicken the issue. So what happens is him and Selene are looking for a cure in the Dark Dimension, but they just cannot find it. So, them being by themselves, Selene locks Curian in the City of Desolation, which is a section of the Dark Dimension. Now, what she does is very interesting, but she essentially saves his soul, but lets his body die. This causes a bit of an issue. So what happens is that she is able to talk to him in her dreams. Because this is how the Dark Dimension works. When you go to sleep, you're actually able to walk around in your dream area, and it will have spirits of whoever it is that's also trapped in a Dark Dimension. But the problem is that these spirits cannot learn anything new. Also, some of them suffer from amnesia. In this case, Curian does suffer from a bit of amnesia. And Selene becomes so stressed with this that her husband, this goody-goody two-shoes, is now just this emotionless husk of a spirit left in her mind, that her hair actually goes from blonde to white from how stressed she is. She actually ends up killing herself, just so that way she can spend the rest of eternity as a spirit with her husband. And by the end of Selene's little quest, she basically restores Curian's spirit so that way he's him again. But, of course, his body is still dead. This is where it gets really interesting, is that Curian is told by Moonlight, whose Moonlight spirit is still around, and again, him being a wizard, he's actually powerful enough to remember everything and to know stuff, but he's not able to learn anything. So he's not able to learn people's names, which is kind of an issue for Moonlight. But Moonlight tells Curian right off the bat, never, ever, ever say Selene's name. Don't do it. Because the reason why is that if he says Selene's name, he will permanently go away. He'll just disappear. So now he has to spend all eternity with his ghost wife as a ghost, and he can never, ever, ever say her name. That honestly doesn't sound like a big issue, especially, if we're fucking and, her mouth's kind of full. I don't really need to say her name. But I guess for him, that could be a bit of an issue as far as romance goes. Also, the issue, too, is that they did save their spirits, but the issue is that they're permanently stuck in this hellish area where all they're going to watch from here on out is just people fall into despair and agony. People's minds get torn asunder, and there's nothing they can do about it. This is a very bleak outcome for such a noble character, and this is why I love it so much. And every time he talks, he obviously has that in him, where you can kind of see that he still has hope left. He still has a little bit of goodness in him where he's like, what can I do to help people? What can I do? But at the same time, it's getting curbed immediately by just the years and years of shit he has dealt with, where he just goes, well, I guess I'm going to have to do what's best for me. And it's like, oh, that's interesting. You broke from the good guy trap that you were in when we first met you. So I like Curian a lot. I like the way he developed into basically a neutral character. He went from a very, very good guy to a very, very neutral guy really quickly. Besides that, this has been Free 700. I'm out. I hope you guys learned something about Curian. Hopefully you guys play the War of Heroes and play Kingdom of Fire Circle of Doom to learn more about them. But I might do another video later on covering the events of a War of Heroes. Although that whole situation's really fucky because, so much shit goes down. It is very hard to keep track of what is canon, what is not canon. So, see you guys next time.